Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Whoa, now. What's happening, good people? And how you doing? What's going on with you? Hoping everybody is having a good day. It's going to be an interesting day on this side. I know that. The big news. The big news. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Breaking news.
What is it?
New Orleans is out of the consent decree as of today. We have been released from the consent decree. The question is, if everybody is so happy about it, why they had that big protest outside of Loyola today, and how you feeling about it?
They upset because they know they can't act the fool with the police anymore and not get retaliated on.
So I wonder how everybody feeling. Is that a good thing? Not a good thing? That we're out of the consent decree after 12 years? How's everybody feeling about it? 504-582-9422. I know this is going to be an interesting conversation because I think that, there are some good pieces of the consent decree that were needed during the time when we needed it more. But does that mean that some people going to revert back to some of the old ways? What people are going to be saying about that? Let's get it in and let's get it on. What you say, Mr. Galman?
Mr. G, how you doing, doctor?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, well, that consent decree, that under Mark Morrell, he made a major change. He required the police who drive those cars to keep those cars in the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great deterrent to crime to have a couple of police cars on your street.
But
Okay?
now, under Mitch Landrieu, he changed that.
I know.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you got people take police cars all the way to Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Folsom over in St. Tammany Parish.
Mm-hmm.
Out in La Place using police cars. Those cars should be parked on the streets or in front of someone's house right here in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's always said that your heart is where your mind is.
Mm.
Your heart cannot be in St. Louis, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, or in Covington, and take care of New Orleans. We need people hired here in New Orleans to take those police cars. And I think we can see a change in the behavior of some of the policemen who drive those cars.
Well, I do know that some of them that are taking them out of parish, I would say that may live out of the parish, with
That's
that,
right.
that their agreement has been if they want to take home car, they do have to pay a stipend to do so, and it comes out of their check.
Why can't they live in the city?
Well, I guess everybody don't want to live here.
Well, if it's good enough for you to work in, it's good enough for you to live in.
Yeah.
That's right. So, but what I call you about, Mr. G, I found the document, and I've been holding this document as a cocked hammer, and I want to pull the trigger on BOK regarding this portable health care plan. Like I said, I told you last time I called, we cannot depend on the Picayune or the pro-television stations to educate the African-American community about things that's important to African-Americans. Now, this document I'm going to explain to you is from the U.S. Congressional Budget Office, whose data the campaign has cited as the source of its exertion, saying the 2010 Federal Health Care Plan, that's the plan Barack Obama got passed. It said they will cut the deficit by $210 billion between 2012 and 2021. Now, let me repeat that for in case of slow learners. It gives the year between 2012 and 2021.
Mm-hmm.
As you listen to Donald Trump and the Republicans, they want to give the impression that money being wasted by keeping the affordable health care plan.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Congressional Budget Office, they evaluate every bill that's presented for the U.S. Congress while we have to spend money. So somebody lying about that affordable health care plan. Now, last time I talked with you on WBOK, and I said BOK was the only one going to talk about this. A lot of people in Louisiana benefited from that affordable health care plan.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about, and let's talk about the African American community, I cannot speak for the white community because I don't have no data on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that when it came down to the affordable health care plan, between the affordable health care plan and expanded Medicaid, over 500,000 African Americans got insurance in Louisiana for the first time in their life. Now, what will happen if they got rid of that affordable health care plan?
Well,
Okay?
I would go on to say, I would think that it wasn't just African Americans that benefited from it. I would say that some of our other ethnicities benefited from it too. They just ain't saying it.
But when you add the African Americans and the poor whites in this state, especially the ones between Alexandria and Monroe, Louisiana, the number of people benefited from the affordable health care plan was over 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Over 1 million. And you got two congressmen from Louisiana leading the fight to get rid of it. Mike Johnson from the Congressional District 4 that runs from Shreveport, Louisiana, down to Lafayette. Then you had the Steve Calise. This actually District 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, show you how the districts are gerrymandered. Now, I never saw anybody cut up a city to draw district lines. From City Park over to the Jefferson Parish line, that's where the so-called wealthy white folks live in Lake Shore and Lake Vista out in that area.
Mm-hmm.
They in Steve Calise district. Okay? Why couldn't they keep New Orleans as a whole city in Congressional District 2 that's represented by Troy Carter? So the so-called whites with the highest income, they kept them out of Troy Carter's district. You will not find a major city divided into two districts. They keep cities in one district. But New Orleans is divided up. Now, I want to give these statistics to the black community about what the condition looked like in Louisiana for African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
39% of African Americans in this state had no health insurance. We talked about last time we talked about the infant mortality rate. For every 1,000 black babies born, 13.9% die because the mother didn't get proper prenatal care.
All right.
Now, this is going to have a strong impact on African Americans in this state.
Mm-hmm.
You have not heard anything from the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, the City Council, or the Orleans Parish School Board. The problem we have in this city and state, we continue to elect people clueless, spineless, gutless, and heartless. If those many people health care insurance in jeopardy, the Black Caucus should have forums all across the state to educate black folks on how these cuts will impact them. I haven't heard anything from the City Council. They should be having forums in every district, educating the African American community about how this is going to impact you.
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump and his cronies get rid of the affordable health care plan.
Well.
Why is that the City Council is afraid to hold forums in the African American community? They want you to come to the city council where they can cut you off in 2 minutes.
Right.
What the hell can you say in 2 minutes to educate the general public? I was in Atlanta, Georgia 5 years after Hurricane Katrina. I could have gone to a forum every week. They held the forums at Spelman, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta U. They held them also at churches.
Mm-hmm.
I must have gone to 5 or 6 churches and speak on programs at churches there. What are the churches doing to educate black folks in this city and state about the portable health care plan?
Mm.
Okay? Like I said, you don't get it on BOK, you're not going to get it.
Well, you also got to understand something too, and I ain't taking up for the churches. I think that is a part of their duty, but I don't think that you can teach when you don't understand it yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Because some of the
only
folks,
thing they got to do if you want to know about it, listen to BOK.
They need to bring some folks, and I do think that the Black Caucus. Again, I ain't taking up for nobody. That I think the Black Caucus has been doing some issues about this. They haven't been doing enough. And they're not loud.
Have they been on BOK?
No, they haven't done it on us.
BOK?
I reached out for the chair of the Black Caucus and have not yet received a telephone call.
But this is the only news source we got in this city.
Yeah.
Can you name me another news source that can educate black folks on a daily basis?
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Nope.
So why can't they come on BOK?
Well, let's reach out for them again. Let's get them to see if they'll return the telephone
I hope
call.
you can get them on their radio program to educate the public about this health care plan.
Okay.
This is very serious when you talk about how many blacks will lose health insurance if the right-wing Republican Party is able to get rid of that affordable health care plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And
this
these
is one of the most serious things facing blacks in this state.
And the rates are about to triple. So.
Thank you.
Yep. Triple. But look, I got to take a break.
You're talking about $1,000 a month for health insurance.
I think it's going to be more than that in a minute. So,
well, some folks are going to be higher than that, by $2,000 a month.
Yep.
If Donald Trump and the Republicans get their way and get rid of the affordable health care plan, let me show you something. I'm going to get off the radio. But let's take a look at what they did with the affordable health care plan. That was in 2010 when Barack Obama introduced it. The affordable health care plan.
Okay. I tell you what, Mr. Gallman, I got to take this break here. I really do, and I got a guest.
Okay, but I'll get with you sometime this week.
So what I'll do is I'll reach out for you this week and see can we make this a whole show. How about that?
Thank you, Doctor.
I appreciate you again.
All right.
I'm sorry I had to cut it off. All right, that's Mr. Gallman. I'm sorry, Mr. Gallman. I just got to get this on because I promised somebody I was going to do a little interview today because some Thanksgiving stuff coming up, and I know people hurting for food, so we got that to talk about too. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
It's tea time, New Orleans. Join the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce for the 12th Annual City Classic Golf Tournament Friday, November 21st at the Joseph Bartholomew Golf Course located at 6514 Congress Drive. Registration and breakfast start at 8:30 a.m. with a 10 a.m. shotgun start, and ladies with the drive tea time at 10:30 a.m. Don't miss this annual tradition of excellence on the green, brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the whole water stove, Pastor David Impartan Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Join me, Dr. Jaquil Ross of New Schools for New Orleans, for Talk That NOLA Education. This Monday, we'll be joined by NOLA Public Schools representatives to discuss the New Orleans Common Application for the upcoming school year. Be sure to tune in Monday at 12:30 p.m. on 12:30 a.m.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. I know we're getting ready to come up on Thanksgiving. And a lot of folks are trying to figure out what they're going to do this year because things tight. Things are tight. And folks are like, I don't know if we're going to charge folks. You know, do they need to pitch in? Do they need to bring something? Somebody need to bring the potato salad? Then everybody going to be sitting at the table and say, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Who made the potato salad?
That's the one question you don't ask because that always starts a fight.
Starts a fight at the table.
Every time. Not everybody. Every time.
Right. And especially don't do it at a black folks table. Lord
yeah,
Jesus.
that in politics, boy.
Don't ever ask who made the potato salad.
You know who's not going to be getting a Christmas present?
Who that?
The person that asks who made the potato salad.
Who made the potato salad? Yes, indeed. So it's good when you start hearing about different organizations, different folks in the community that you know that are saying, hey, we're getting ready to do something, and we're going to need your help, G. We're going to need to put this out. So I got this call, and I said, yeah, we're going to put you on the air. I'm going to put that on the air. She said, you are? I said, yeah, we're going to put this on the air. What time you available? She said, what? I said, what time you available? I got the flyer, but you need to tell it. And as I heard the shivering over the phone, what? I said, you can do it. You can do it, Kelly. I said, yeah, you can do it. Ain't no big deal. That's nothing. You got this. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Blackwell is with us. How you doing, dear?
I'm fine. How are you, love?
I'm trying to hang in here, trying to keep it between the ditches. That's all. Mm-hmm.
You ready for the holidays?
Oh, wait a minute. I saw that you was cooking.
Oh, okay. No, I'm going to be out doing my thing Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. So that means when you get finished, then you know you're going to be hungry. So I know there's going to be some food ready.
Well, let's see. I'm going to thank the NOLA Lolas are in the Bayou Classic Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, really? Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
It's the 40th anniversary this year, so it's going to be big.
So the NOLA Lolas is the group that's also putting on this turkey giveaway, right? We
are, in conjunction with Golden Goddess Golf Group and with other organizations also, which is going to be on November 25th, 2025, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Empire at 2222 Porter Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70119. And the families will receive a free turkey, and the first 100 will also receive trimmings. This is a drive-through event providing free turkeys and trimmings, and families are limited to one turkey per vehicle.
Okay. What makes the NOLA Lola say we need to do this, along with the Golden Goddess Golf?
Well, the NOLA Lolas started with Courtney Roberts and Jada Atkinson. Those are our two founders, and they're incredible women, along with all the other women in the organization. We're very community-oriented, and we know things are difficult for a lot of people at this particular time, and we just wanted to be able to do our part and give back to the community and to help those who are in need.
And I know that. How many families do you want to serve this year, or can you serve?
We're going to try and serve as many as possible.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a certain number that, first come, first serve. How does this work?
Usually that's how that works, but we're really going to try to make sure that we can provide food for everyone who comes through.
So y'all looking like y'all going to get blasted because you're only doing two to four. 2 to 4, that's 2 hours. That's going to be gone. It's going to be gone in the first hour. Kelly, y'all know it's not going to stay. This ain't going to stay. This going to be gone.
We're going to try, baby. We're going to do our best, as we always do.
That's all right, though. That's very nice. Very, very nice. And I know, look, we living in times right now when you go to the grocery store, you say, how much is what? And
That's right.
a lot of folks are looking at prices and not going to be able to do like they usually do for Thanksgiving. So I think any little bitty thing can help.
That's right. We're trying. We're doing our part. We like taking care of those, who really do need help. We take care of each other.
Right.
In this organization, and that's also very important.
Very good.
But we really have to get back to this community, which we love doing.
All right. So one more time here for the folks that still didn't hear everything, but they need to know about it. So this is going to happen Tuesday,
November 25th, 2025, from 2 to 4 p.m. at Empire at 2222 Porter Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70119. And families will receive a free turkey, and the first 100 will also receive trimmings. This is a drive-through event providing free turkeys and trimmings, and families are limited to 1 turkey per vehicle.
1 per vehicle. So I can't be in the back seat saying, Kelly, you know me, girl. You know
No,
I got.
because I'm gonna point you out and say, Gerard, get out the car.
No. I'm just trying to warm you up so you'll know exactly what I do. I mean, sitting in the back seat saying, look, go on, slide another box over here. You know I got them other folks I need to take care of. Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna be screaming gobble gobble to get an extra turkey. Boy, you crazy.
Yes, indeed. So, well, look, that's very nice of you all. I think that a lot of people will be very appreciative. This year is a little bit different due to the fact that we had the SNAP issue. Then we have economic issues. So I know this will be much needed. So thank you on behalf of the city, for you and the ladies that are doing the work.
So much.
For doing the
All
work.
right.
Thank you, my dear. Appreciate the call, too. We'll make sure we post it on our website so you have it up there, too.
All right, love. Thank you so much. And happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
You
and
too.
Joie Noel.
You
and all
too.
those good things.
All right, dear. Bye-bye.
All right, babe.
All right. So that's nice. I think that's good. And look, anybody else is doing the same thing, let us know. Let us know. So we don't want no hungry folks sitting around talking about something. I don't have no meals. We don't want that. I know that several folks that are probably on the West Bank, because I usually try to help out. I don't want to call the organization's name because they may not be doing it this year, but usually every Thanksgiving they get the big half of a turkey wings and all that other stuff in those big foil plates to make sure that you can eat, make sure that you have a meal, and they usually make sure that the folks in the elderly centers get them first. I make sure that we check up on that just to make sure. But if anybody else is doing turkey giveaways, food plate giveaways, all of that, make sure you let us know so that we can direct it on the air so that somebody will hear you. Because trust me, sometimes it's not about can you do or will you do. Sometimes it's people that need it that won't say anything because of pride or feeling ashamed that they couldn't do it themselves. And that's understandable. So we like to make sure that we can take care of you. So let us know. Let us know at 504-582-9422. All right, back to the show. It's an interesting day because if you didn't know, you should know that New Orleans is now out of our police consent decree. Everybody went, what? Where were you? Where was you? Did you know that New Orleans, I just sent you something too, is out of the NOPD consent decree after 12 years. It ended today. How you feeling about that? You got it already? Go ahead and play him. Go ahead and play.
A historic shift in New Orleans policing met with mixed reactions.
Judge Susie Morgan signed an order today ending federal oversight of the NOPD.
WDSU reporter Cassie Sherb is live to break down what this means for the city and the department moving forward. Cassie?
That's right. So this ends 12 years of reform for the department. And the judge over this case, Judge Susie Morgan, says she's seen a transformation of this department and believes they can start moving on their own. So here's exactly what this means going forward. So federal oversight is officially over. Judge Susie Morgan granted the motion to end the 492-point reform plan. If you recall, the consent decree started after the DOJ found major civil rights violations. The reforms stay in place, but now the city is responsible for training, discipline, and oversight. It also saves money. Monitoring costs totaled about $20.7 million. The next challenge, proving these changes hold without federal monitors. Protesters say this is a bad move moving forward, but the former monitor says he's confident the department won't backslide. Do you think we are ready to not be under that consent decree?
Absolutely. I would not have agreed if I felt differently. But consent decrees are not designed to be lifelong institutions. They're not designed to create a perfect state. They're designed to remedy unconstitutional behavior.
New Orleans Police Department is proof that you can fight and reduce crime and police constitutionally and ethically.
Now the real test starts moving forward today as we are no longer under that consent decree. And this is something that we're going to be following very closely because it'll be up to the city officials as well as the department and even the community to keep an eye on what happens moving forward. Reporting here in New Orleans, I'm Cassie Sherm, WDSU News.
Well, reaction to this is coming in from many state leaders. AG Liz Murrell says in a statement that this is something she has been fighting for since she was elected. She says this specific consent decree has cost the city of New Orleans over $100 million. These costs are imposed throughout the system, including the overtime required to police a city with an understaffed department.
Governor Jeff Landry says now we can focus on real policing again, taking the handcuffs off officers and putting them on criminals and rebuilding the NOPD. Federal courts do not belong in the business of running police departments.
And thank you, Channel 6, but that's the part that scares me. We can now get back to, I don't know if he really understands, but he probably does, why we got there in the first place. Now you're trying to make it sound like now we can get back to what we were doing. That's the part that scares me. Now, if you listen to the report from the beginning, it said it had a lot of mixed reaction. What they didn't show in that report was the opposition. They didn't show or hear the folks that were out there protesting the issue of being off this consent decree.
You saw the way they walked that vehicle backwards?
Huh?
You saw the way they walked that vehicle backwards?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, boy, it was about to be some roughneckedness around there.
So here's what I'm like. Timing is a whole lot too. And I know that everybody's gonna look at me and say, what timing got to do with anything? Look, just in case y'all ain't paying attention, next week, the feds are bringing in those ICE folks. Next week, here.
Oh, I already see people online protesting that.
Yeah.
Saying that
they'll be here starting next week.
That businesses should
shut down,
not invite them, let them come into your business.
Right.
And have a sign in your window, no ICE, well, ICE not welcome.
Right. So will they do that? We already are in a position where this city is in need of, and I'll just say it, in need of folks that we are not going to do the work. Black folks ain't going to do certain jobs. And our Latino friends come in and do those jobs.
Yep.
We're already in that position. Good Lord. We're already in that position.
No.
And it's going to get worse.
I'm not trying to sound stereotypical or anything like that, but see all those jobs that black people held, cutting the grass, doing the intersections and the neutral grounds and cutting all that?
Yep.
You don't see us out there no more.
You don't see
You
us
see-
out there anyway. They cover up their faces and put on those orange suits and hats and stuff. You don't know who that is until they sit down and
But majority of them are Latino now.
yeah. Yep.
Working in a hotel, cleaning the rooms.
Yep.
Latino.
Yep.
This might sound rough, but have our people prided themselves out of jobs?
Pride it?
Yeah, pride. I got too much pride to do that. I ain't cleaning nobody's room. I ain't cutting nobody's grass. I wouldn't say pride. Well, no, pride is not the word.
That's not a good word.
No.
That's why I'm looking crazy right now. No, that's not a good word to use.
They have talked themselves out of positions, I guess you could say it like that.
I don't think it's talked themselves out the position. I don't think that's either. I think that there are certain things that people just ain't going to do. They outgrow them. Certain folks, look, I heard several folks tell me that they are now making a certain amount as a hopper, emptying trash.
Yeah.
That IV Waste took it up to, what, $21 an hour or something?
Those boys make money. They make some money.
So if you're in a job that's making minimum wage and you know that this will be a position, and I'm talking about a hopper that's making $21, would you say that you've outgrown a job like that, but yet it pays more than what?
At $21 an hour? No. You have not outgrown that.
Yeah, but understand something now. We're talking about the job. But are we talking about the job or are we talking about the money?
Well, the money, I wouldn't outgrow that. That's $21 an hour. But physically, no, I couldn't get out there and toss those garbage cans like these young cats do. No, I wouldn't be able to do that.
All right, break it down.
That's
by
why
race.
I'm sitting here doing just what I'm doing.
But break it down by race. The young black guys.
Yeah, you don't. I have yet to see a white guy as a hopper. I have yet to see that.
Okay. Does that prove your point though, or my point? Understand what I'm saying?
It goes. It can go both ways.
Huh?
It can go both ways.
I've just heard too many times that we have outdone or outgrown certain jobs, meaning we're not going to do them, but the Latino folks are going to come here and do them.
Well, basically,
just like the folks that do the cabbages and all that other stuff on the West Coast.
Okay, let's say like this. A lot of our people feel it's beneath them. That's a better way to put it. Beneath them to do that.
So is that a prejudice?
I just say, man, I ain't doing that job.
But is that a prejudice? You understand what I'm asking? I mean, when you say something is beneath me, that's judgmental.
I'd say it's
but
judgmental
you can make
instead
good
of
money
prejudice.
doing it. But you're judgmental about the position of what you're doing, not what you're making.
Yeah.
So you're prejudiced.
I'm not prejudiced.
No, I'm not talking about directly to you.
Let's get that right. Let's get that
I
right.
wish you could see your face when I said that. I'm not prejudiced.
I can't afford to be prejudiced.
Oh, well, none of us can, but I'm just saying. But is that a good word to say? It's beneath you?
But that's basically the way that it seems like it's taken. That's a job that's beneath me.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody clowns somebody that works at McDonald's.
They do?
Yeah. I mean, like when a young man is trying to date a woman, even though he could be at McDonald's making
judgmental,
making $50 an hour, she's like, "Oh, you work at McDonald's, but I'm making $50 an hour." They look at that type of job as being beneath them.
Well, I could be the manager making $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit
But it's
there
just having that name is a stigmatism.
Yeah, and then you're walking around and then they see you working on fries.
Yeah.
But I'm the manager. I got to work on everything.
Yeah.
So
you're part of the team.
Yeah. Mr. Elmo.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good. What's happening with you?
Well, listen, I start out from the bottom. I was working at the time they called you a janitor, a porter. And I was a kid, 17, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized from my parents' tutelage, I'm going to do it all my life.
You what?
So I wasn't gonna do that all my life.
Oh, you're not going to do that.
I had to start. I understood that was part of my work ethic to start from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of understand both ways of it. Now, again, I always wanted to be an engineer, and my dad said, "Look, son, you got to start from here, start from here, start from here." Well, again, I do understand what you're saying, that a lot of Hispanics, not all from Mexico, Guatemala, Latin America, Central America, and they do work cheaper. I mean, that's one thing too. Now, I don't want to say we price ourselves out of working because we say what we can't do. That could be true too. But I think they're also cheaper too. So corporate America wanted both ways. They want cheap labor, but all of a sudden you're so conservative, you hold it down. You don't want them here when you always had them picking fruits, corn, apples, God knows what they were not doing. So let's be fair about this. Let's cut the chase with this. Make a better gateway to grandfather people that have been here for years and years and years. Then all of a sudden you turn your head the other way, but they're not good enough to be here, but they was good enough to mind your kids, feed your children, cut your grass, plunge your toilets, make up your beds. And listen, I did that too. Listen, I was called at the time. I never felt embarrassed about it. It didn't make me less the man. I was a female I was like what they call a guy doing maid work. If that's time they call you a maid. I ain't about making no carpets, cleaning the toilets. I was a kid.
Okay.
And trust me, Gerard, I was as good as all the people that was there.
I got you. So, all right.
So we got to start,
I got you. So I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix. Hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
New Orleans, this is Councilman Freddie King III. This holiday season, we're inspiring the city by giving back with our annual Inspire the City Turkey and Ham Giveaway.
And this is Kim Charbonnet of the 6th Ward Steppers. Please join us on Tuesday, November 25th at Alice Hart Charter School at 10 a.m., and then we'll be at Mahalia Jackson Theater for 2.
Each vehicle will receive a turkey or ham, a perishable food package, and limited gas cards will be available while supplies last.
We're coming together to make sure families across New Orleans feel the love this Thanksgiving.
Because when we come together, we inspire the city.
WBOK. Listen now on WBOK1230.com.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. So I want to go back to, I guess, the original conversation. And the original conversation was about the consent decree. We're out of it. You all heard the report. The Judge Susie Morgan signed the papers and said we're going to be out of it after 12 years, starting today. My question to you all, because I can remember I'd say, 5 or 6 years ago, we're going to be out the consent decree. Boy, my phones would jump off the hook. We had all the activists and everybody standing in line, ready to protest, standing by the police headquarters, standing out there saying, "We shall overcome," marching in the circle around the water fountain. That was one for the police officers. They knew what I'm talking about, around the water fountain. Never mind. What?
The one on Broad.
Huh?
You talking about the station on Broad,
Mhm.
water fountain? Yeah.
But now, I can tell you, I'm going to tell them exactly what I told you. I mentioned it earlier, but I just told you this, and you agreed with me.
Yep.
Timing is terrible. And why is it terrible, Gerard? I'm glad you asked. Y'all better think about something. They just let them out of the consent decree. You heard your governor say you can go back to your original policing. And you're going to have ICE on the streets as of Monday. ICE and border enforcement. What does that mean?
You're going to get your butts whooped.
Bruh.
Bruh.
I'm staying home. Because you light skinned. I can say to you, hola.
¿Qué pasa, mi amor?
And then they be thinking I'm wanting to.
¿Qué pasa, Pablo?
¿Qué
Huh?
pasa? What you say there, Felipe? Mm-hmm. You know, my daughter already calling me Pablo. That's some bad timing for me. And I hope everybody understands. I'm not trying to be funny. That's some bad timing for me.
And you said something, too.
What?
That they need to take heed of with this consent decree being gone. A lot of these YNs have never been around police where there was no consent decree.
Right.
Where you said something flipping, the officer could knock the daylights out of you. They have not experienced that. But they probably will experience that now that it's changed up. Because, see, back then we knew to respect the police so that nothing would happen. These fools have no respect for the police whatsoever.
It's going to be a whole different attitude.
It's not going to be nothing nice.
And I'm sorry. These little Katrina babies.
Y'all in for it.
They have never seen the wrath of a very angry police officer that is not going to be into any type of trouble with the consent decree.
Yep.
Here we go.
You can't cuss them out no more.
Well, you probably can, but
you're gonna get
yeah,
it ain't gonna be nice.
Yeah. So, Cedric.
Hey man, how are y'all? How y'all doing today? It is very ironic that we're about to get ICE troops or whatever, and now this consent decree is over today, and you all just touched upon it, and not just for people that are smart to the law, but we have another dynamic that people need to take into consideration too. A lot of our police department is gentrified, meaning that they were not reared or raised here. So, I believe we're going to be in a bad. It's not looking good. So, please, parents, talk to everybody, talk to your children, and because we done lost the pickle. We're in the pickle juice. Now, lastly, I would like to know what is the mayor, because she still has a month left, a little over a month left, the mayor-elect and the police chief, as well as the city council, now since they're in place, what are their plans? How are they going, how are they going to address that? And I know with ICE targeting brown people, in particular Hispanic, Latinos, the mayor-elect, she should definitely have a plan, and I'll hang up and listen.
So, no, don't hang up yet. I like to talk to you, Cedric. When you call in and give those type of not ultimatums, but you want to hear the answer to those. I do think you are correct that there needs to be a conversation. I think that now this is me, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else. I think one of the first things that should be done is the mayor needs to have a conversation with the president of the National Association of Broadcasters here in New Orleans. And that person needs to meet with her to be able to say, we need to run public service announcements. You need to tell your members, because everybody that's a broadcaster is a member of the National Association of Broadcasters here in the city. We pay dues and we have to do all that other stuff. And then the black folks have to not only pay to be members of the National Association of Broadcasters, we're also members of the National Black Broadcaster Journalists. So I think that there should be public service announcements that the National Association of Broadcasters runs on every television station and every radio station that warns folks, hey, we're letting you know that we're out of this consent decree, so some of the rules that you're used to may not be adhered to like they were. We're not saying anything bad is going to happen, but we also want to let our Latino families know that we now have ICE in the city. And those Latino businesses, Honduran, whoever, they need to have a plan about, somebody standing outside, not letting them in their building to bring out their workers or stuff like that, because folks going to be scared. I can tell you construction in the city is going to hell in a handbasket. Everything that you could possibly think about what the Latino community does is going to cease. But I do need...
And I hope... Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, go ahead, Gerard.
No, I was just going to say, I do think that it does come from leadership. If it comes from leadership, it's going to mean a whole lot more than just somebody telling them.
And I would hope that they reach out to the clergy, because this is something that each pastor should be saying to their congregation this Sunday. It's morning time. Mm-hmm. And lastly, man, and I don't get it, man. I was watching a local news station last night talk about the overtime. So my question is, so you mean to tell me the only people that's violating overtime are black? And why didn't they put the same type of effort into the captains and mayors test? Why didn't they do thorough investigations of that, where it wasn't majority black people doing wrong, or allegedly doing wrong?
You just a doo-doo starter. You are the doo-doo starter.
Hey, man, y'all have a good one.
I'm just letting you know we already are working on that one, too. So.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
I'll just talk to you in a minute, Sid. Thank you, brother. All right, more coming up, y'all. We got news next.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The UN has approved a plan for Gaza reconstruction, creating a Trump-led board of peace to oversee government and rebuilding.
Today's resolution represents another significant step towards a stable Gaza that will be able to prosper and an environment that will allow Israel to live in security.
That's U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz. Russia and China abstained, and Hamas rejected the plan, saying it fails to meet Palestinian needs. Alabama gets an F in maternal health with high infant and maternal mortality and preterm births. March of Dimes says black women face the greatest disparities, calling for urgent policy changes to improve care. And Robin Roberts is producing a biopic and documentary on the late Roberta Flack, celebrating the Grammy-winning singer's life and legacy. Flack passed away earlier this year. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Consent decree is over. How you feeling about it? Do we still need it or no? 504-582-9422. What you say, Galloway?
What's going on, Brother Gerard?
Oh, man, trying to be like you again?
Oh, man, don't do that, man. You mean you got to be a nice, gentle young man.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you.
No, man, yesterday, was it the day before, Granny Clampett, she came to WBOK, and she announced that it would be less than 24 hours, so it had to be yesterday. On your morning show, she announced that, and she also announced that the National Guard was coming for the Bayou Classic and the Sugar Bowl. And what I didn't like her answer about ICE, because somebody called in and asked her, would she be supporting ICE? And she tried to give some diplomatic answer about being illegal here is not a criminal, is a civil penalty or something to that effect. You got to go back and listen to her answer. It was BS. I was in Chicago when they had ICE was doing their thing up there. I don't think our people understand that this is not going to be like the last time ICE was here and Homeland Security was here doing Mardi Gras and the Sugar Bowl. These folks are literally jump out boys. They see something they don't like, they jumping out.
Yeah.
You can yell and cuss and scream and kick all you want to. Whoever they want to arrest, citizen, non-citizen, they take it. They don't care. They have qualified immunity. So good luck thinking that you are going to sit there and say, give me your name and your badge number. That does not work with ICE. Their faces are going to be covered. Their uniforms are not going to be recognized. Their police cars are not marked. None of this stuff.
Nope.
The way Chicago. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, nope, you're right. It's just a whole different scenario.
Yeah, and the way the Chicago police ended up handling it, they ended up getting into it with ICE.
Right.
Because ICE would like to throw tear gas and get out of there. They started tear gassing the regular police. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but they tear gassed the other police, and then you have, if your court system is not strong, meaning that you're not going to deal with the regular, New Orleans court. You got to go to a federal court. Your mayor should be on the phone talking to Brandon Johnson, that's the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Los Angeles, and the mayor of Charlotte. That's what she should be doing now to figure out how can she protect her citizens. Because somebody that's a United States citizen born here, probably never left New Orleans, is going to get hemmed up. That's just a fact.
Well,
it happens everywhere they go.
Well, one of the things, too, that I tell you this, Galloway, is the fact that I can tell you that they've probably been here in the city for a period of time now. That's probably what took so long, because we've been hearing this for a while, but they will be here as of Monday. So anytime I'm going to do any type of intelligence in a city, I'm not going to do the intelligence. You know what I'm talking about because you're military. I'm not going to do the intelligence when I say I'm coming. I'm going to do the intelligence prior to the troops getting there.
Way before that. Yeah.
So
it's probably been playing about 6 months.
Yeah, they've already done the intelligence. And one of the things I can tell you that just so folks will know, and I ain't scared to say it, it ain't just the Latinos. Don't forget, we got a whole community of Vietnamese.
Yes.
That came over here from Saigon.
Yes.
You better make sure you got all your papers together, because down there in Michoud in that area, they coming through there too.
Yes, you got Africans in New Orleans.
You got African. You got the Nigerian community. You also have you also have a Haitian community.
Yes.
I met with the sheriff. We met with the Haitian community. I had no idea that they were so large and strong in New Orleans.
Very, very. Come on, man. Come on, hate it. Come on.
The Haitian community, to me, they don't get in parlay or either get entwined with other communities. They got their own.
Yeah, about to say they stick to their own. They real like born and raised there. We knew who the Haitians was,
and they large.
And we knew. Yes, yes, and you know, you was talking about the consent decree also.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to brief people through Zoom and through other ways, going live on YouTube and stuff, and explaining to a lot of people in New Orleans have never seen the NOPD off consent decree. 12 years is a long time.
Right.
So that's a K through 12. So you got high school seniors that's never seen NOPD off the consent decree. And that's a huge difference. I'm like, you're not going to be able, I'm not saying you can't live your life, but a lot of stuff I've seen NOPD let slide, or the NOPD that I know, that I grew up with, they would have been bust you over the head and kept it moving.
Yep.
And my concern is, hopefully there's not another flat top, or there's not another RoboCop within the ranks of NOPD that's waiting to be released. I hope there's more officers. What is his name? Officer Smiley or Friendly, the dancing cop NOPD guy. That he goes viral on social media. All he does is dance. And I tell him all the time to go fix them potholes. You can dance like that. Go stump some asphalt in one of them potholes.
Yes,
That's what you need to go do.
There you go. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you got. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
But I do have a problem. I do have a problem with something, and I know I'm gonna sound like I'm taking up for NOPD, the black officers of NOPD. I'm gonna just say it this way, and I hope that they are listening. They probably are. You'll start hearing my phone start dinging in any minute. I think it's a damn shame that we really have not done a complete investigation and say they haven't done anything wrong, but leave these damn television investigations to be the judge, jury, and everything else that goes along with that to these officers that are making money during their job. They're mad because they're making over $200,000 a year. But me being who I am, I'm looking at it and saying we have a shortfall of police officers. Thank God for those police officers that are do at least 2 different shifts, or work 12 hours here, then 12.5 hours, and get to the maximum that they can work, but also doing everything else that they want to. And because they're doing that, it sounds like because they're making a certain amount of money that they're under scrutiny because they're making money. Well, if they don't do it, then we're going to be short police officers, right?
What I'm about to say, with the consent decree gone for good now, that was one of their complaints, that nobody wanted to become a police officer in New Orleans because of the consent decree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think now that more people will say, "Hey, I'm going to New Orleans to be a police officer now," with the cost of living and the pay, and do you really want this type of stressful job right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, with this economy, that's something else you need to think about. And also, we can't forget about the other communities, the Arab community. It's a lot of communities in New Orleans, and I can go back to Chicago. Chicago has all kind of communities, and I thought it will remind you. Chicago will remind you of New York. You got so many different types of communities there, but ICE is really focused on the Latino Hispanic. But if you are a black person, I'm telling you now, you're not gonna be exempt. When I think it was when I was there, or was it the week before, when the young black man, he started running because everybody else was started running.
Well, that's what black folks do. What you think, man? I see somebody running, I ain't gonna sit there and go, look at everybody running. I'm gonna know why they're running so I can run too. Yeah, and look, they hemmed him up. And his mama sit there and said, wait a minute, that boy come out my womb. He American citizen. You know, the cop said, well, why was he running? I said, man, this is crazy. But I'm hoping for the best with the consent decree. I think it's a 50-50, because that thing that's gonna take over New Orleans as mayor, if it goes right, she gonna try to take the credit. If it goes wrong, she gonna blame Granny Clampett and the rest of them. Me, I'm not giving her any break, because when I come down there, ICE stop me, I'm gonna say El Mayo and El Officer and City Council, go arrest her. Have a good day, Wick. And gee, man, y'all be out. Well, let me tell you something before you hang up, but because this is what I've heard several different times. That was her main job when she was being brought in, was to make sure that we can get out of this consent decree. And then, of course, there was the, I guess, the rumors, because I'm not there. I'm not on nobody's horse. But I understand that she and the judge go horseback riding together. So.
Well.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
But look, if that was her job and they brought her in for that, it's apparent to me she did her job. You know, because that consent decree is costing us somewhere in the neighborhood of about what, $7 million a year?
$7 million a year. Well, for $7 million a year, they did more than horseback riding.
Yeah.
Sure they wasn't broke back? You sure they wasn't broke back now?
Oh, bro, you don't went there. I should have let you go. I should.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, Galloway. Oh, Lord. Galloway done went left. He done went left on me. So I wanted to bring this, I guess more so than anything else, bring up this issue from yesterday. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see the news. And they're talking about, folks, timesheets at NOPD. And I don't know, these television investigators, are y'all really doing investigations? Because there's several different things that I heard in this program last night that made me go, something's missing. You want to go ahead and play it? The story for Fox 8. Because now they got new timesheet rules. Now, if there's a problem, okay. But now you're saying you're issuing out new timesheet rules. You ready?
A historic shift in New Orleans policing met with mixed reactions.
Judge Susie Morgan signed an order today ending federal oversight of the NOPD.
WDSU reporter Cassie Sherm is live to break down what this means for the city and the department moving forward. Cassie?
That's right. So this ends 12 years of reform for the department. And the judge over this case, Judge Susie Morgan, says she's seen a transformation of this department and believes they can start moving on their own. So here's exactly what this means going forward. So federal oversight is officially over. Judge Susie Morgan granted the motion to end the 492-point reform plan. If you recall, the consent decree started after the DOJ found major civil rights violations. The reforms stay in place, but now the city is responsible for training, discipline, and oversight. It also saves money. Monitoring costs totaled about $20.7 million. The next challenge, proving these changes hold without federal monitors. Protesters say this is a bad move moving forward, but the former monitor says he's confident the department won't backslide. Do you think we are ready to not be under that consent decree?
Absolutely. I would not have agreed if I felt differently. But consent decrees are not designed to be lifelong institutions. They're not designed to create a perfect state. They're designed to remedy unconstitutional behavior.
New Orleans Police Department is proof that you can fight and reduce crime and police constitutionally and ethically.
Now the real test starts moving forward today as we are no longer under that consent decree. And this is something that we're going to be following very closely because it'll be up to the city officials as well as the department and even the community to keep an eye on what happens moving forward. Reporting here in New Orleans, I'm Cassie Sherm, WDSU News.
Well, reaction to this is coming in from many state leaders. AG Liz Murrell says in a statement that this is something she has been fighting for since she was elected. She says this specific consent decree has cost the city of New Orleans over $100 million. These costs are imposed throughout the system, including the overtime required to police a city with an understaffed department.
Governor Jeff Landry says now we can focus on real policing again, taking the handcuffs off officers and putting them on criminals and rebuilding the NOPD. Federal courts do not belong in the business of running police departments.
All right, there you have it. We thank Channel 6 for that, but that's not the investigation that we were talking about. That we're talking about these young men, and they are men, and they're not ladies. They are men that are supposedly under some type of scrutiny because their timesheets seem to be stacked with time of of working. Because you worked a certain amount of days with, no days off. What?
Let's take the break because this is a very long
You want to take the break?
segment.
All right, we'll take the break here. We'll take the break first. And look, but before you go to break, I got a question for you. How many days did you work with no days off? Oh, I know what that means. Me and you.
Yep.
So I'm wondering.
See, we are in the business just like policing.
And I'm
365,
doing
24/7.
And I was working 2 jobs. Every day. How many days a week I come in here? Lord, I'm tired. Because I work 7 days.
Per day?
7 days a week. I work 7 days a week. Not 5. 7 days a week. 5 days here, but 2 days on the weekend as well, working with the sheriff's department. So that was 7 days a week for a long period of time. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead on. You can go and take the break. More coming up, y'all.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But Black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. They really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. The little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research. I think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
My name is Armand Gillespie.
And this is Philip Thomas.
And we are the Bald Online Podcast, where we cover all the major sports topics. But today, we come to you all to talk about a more serious topic.
Suicide prevention. A little less than a week ago, a young, talented football player named Marshawn Nealon took his life after scoring his first NFL touchdown.
We stressed the importance of life and how precious every person is. We on Bald Online Podcast hope, if you're ever going through anything, to please reach out to a loved one.
And if you think you have no one to turn to, please call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Remember, you are loved and cherished in every possible way.
Peace and always love from us. And remember, ball don't lie. Peace.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit Visit risestjames.org today.
2517 Bayou Road, Chef Sherman Esteem. You're talking about great food, great conversations, and definitely great drinks. We sell hookahs and we rent them out. So if you want to have a nice time and smoke your nice hookah, come on down to Nano's Cajun Cuisine and Pastries and have a wonderful time. We will entertain you and we will treat you with happiness and joy. And by the way, on our first and third Saturdays, we always have a block party on Bayou Road. Come and check us out from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Here we go.
The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
Fox 8 investigation finds 2 of the NOPD's highest paid officers were at home when their timesheets indicate they should be on duty.
Tonight, Rob Krieger investigates whether some of their pay is unchecked overtime.
$245,903. That's how much the NOPD's highest overtime earner was paid overall in 2024, nearly $250,000, paid to Sergeant Henry Burke. To put that in perspective, as an NOPD police sergeant, Burke's regular salary is just more than $83,000 a year. But according to documents Fox 8 obtained, last year he rang up more in overtime than his base salary, $121,000 in OT. And he's not alone. In 2024, 23 NOPD officers clocked more in overtime than their base salary. The majority of those are senior police officers, like Brandon Coleman, who nearly tripled his $64,000 base salary with overtime. In all, Coleman collected more than $217,000 last year.
Follow the money. Follow the money. When you have officers, they start going over 160, 180, $200,000. It is extremely difficult to get there.
Forensic scientist and NOPD watchdog Skip Gallagher has been tracking NOPD overtime for years. He believes some officers on the force could be padding their timesheets.
The pay records scream this. They absolutely scream this. Every time an officer clocks over 200,000, if they're not in the command structure, we should have questions about them and what they're doing with their time.
Fox 8 took an in-depth look. On July 13th, our undercover camera captured Henry Burke getting into a vehicle at 2:54 p.m., then driving away 1 minute later. However, his timesheet that day indicated he clocked in nearly a half hour before that, at 2:30. Burke lives outside of Orleans Parish. A typical trip from his house to his NOPD station takes about 25 minutes. 2 days later, our camera captured Sergeant Burke returning home at 6:54 in the morning, 6 minutes before he clocked out of his shift. The next day, July 16th, Burke left his home at 3:02 in the afternoon, more than 30 minutes after clocking in for his shift. During an interview with NOPD Chief Ann Kirkpatrick last week, she indicated officers traveling home should not be on the clock.
What constitutes an officer off the clock? Is it when they get home, or is it when they leave?
No,
the
when
parish?
they leave, their duty hour has come to an end, they're off duty, and then they have take-home vehicles, so they drive home. They're not on duty while they're driving home.
On September 24th, our undercover camera captured Sergeant Burke loading a K-9 into a vehicle. Then he pulled off at 2:55, again, nearly a half hour after he clocked in, and with at least a 25-minute drive ahead before he could arrive to his district for his more than 16-hour shift.
What disturbs me is that I have warned the department for more than 5 years that this is going on, and we still have this problem. You need to put credible resources towards fixing this problem.
Then there's senior police officer Brandon Coleman. Remember, Coleman nearly tripled his salary by working overtime last year, taking him from a base pay of about $64,000 to more than $200,000. According to NOPD payroll records, last year, on 146 different days, he claimed to work 16 hours or longer. Fast forward to July 22nd of this year. Coleman's initial timesheet indicated he worked a 16-plus hour shift from 6:25 in the morning until 11 that night. But our camera didn't capture him getting into his unit until 10:08 a.m., hours after he clocked in that day. The next day, he's clocked in for what he initially claimed was another 16-hour day on his timesheet from 6:25 in the morning until 11 at night. But our video shows he didn't leave until 8:11 in the morning.
Camera. Right here.
Then on July 28th, Coleman discovered our undercover camera. Then on July 29th, the next day, Coleman clocked in at 6:25 in the morning, but didn't leave his home until 7:41 a.m., more than an hour later. His NOPD SUV returns that evening at 6:37, but he didn't clock out until 7 p.m. The next day, nearly the same thing. Coleman clocked in at 6:25, but our camera showed he left more than an hour later at 7:48.
That is really disturbing, and it's really disturbing also, compounding the fact that we are in such a budget crisis and that every cent matters at this point. And so to see any level of abuse is incredibly disturbing and something that the chief has to handle.
New Orleans Mayor-elect Helena Moreno says the overtime questions Fox 8 raised should be addressed immediately.
There is no room for abuse. There's just not. And so any abuse that is discovered has to be absolutely cut out. I've had conversations with the chief about overtime. I've had conversations with the chief about whether there's potential abuse. I have directed her that she needs to handle this and take care of eliminating any type of abuse of overtime.
During an interview with Chief Kirkpatrick last week, she indicated the Office of the Inspector General is currently auditing overtime across the department.
As I said, look at all of us, do a report, give me names of people that you see are indiscretion. This is not a witch hunt, but it is truly to close this out. Let's change how we are documenting all of that. So I'm just looking for a clean bill of health here, and I think that's the best way to get to it.
A lot of times people want to focus purely on the numbers, which are important, but the morale is also really important. And so and then the other thing is you don't want a system of, well, I see these men or women getting away with it, so now I'm going to start doing it.
New Orleans City Council member Joe Geruso believes it's essential to have a clean payroll within the NOPD to ensure the best officers aren't driven away.
You want to make sure A, people are following the rules. That's always the most important. But that B, if there is these overtime issues where you're pointing them out, that you have strong leadership taking that action where there are problems.
Gallagher believes the numbers should be enough to raise red flags and wants to see the department create genuine checks to ensure overtime isn't abused.
We don't have enough oversight. We really need to know, what is that officer doing for that overtime? Is it a positive thing? Are we getting something for our money? Because that overtime costs us a lot. And we need to know that we're getting something of value and they're actually doing something.
Moreno says even in the wake of a major city budget deficit, she understands overtime is a necessity and says while public safety is a top priority, the department must ensure its integrity isn't questioned because of unchecked overtime.
I told the chief she needs to get, a real handle on what's going on with overtime in her department. And obviously what you're bringing forward, she needs to look at and review and, verify independently that all is accurate.
We reached out to Burke and Coleman about our findings. Both declined to comment. We also asked for an interview with Chief Kirkpatrick to discuss our specific findings about the officers, but her communications team told us she's out of town. The OIG said its investigation into the NOPD's overtime policies is ongoing, writing in a statement, "We will continue to identify and mitigate fraud, waste, and/or abuse relating to city payroll, including NOPD overtime policies, procedures, and usage." Back to you.
All right, there you have it. We want to thank Fox 8 for letting us use their story, their special investigative report. It wouldn't be me if I did question. I just don't see, which we've seen in the past with some of these young men and women that take advantage of where they're supposed to be and where they're not supposed to be, and what time they're on the clock and what time they're not on the clock. We've seen that in the past. But what is disturbing me is the fact that are we saying that we got a problem with them because they're doing it, or are we saying we got a problem with them because they have exorbitant amount of monies that they've made? So as I look at Officer Coleman, and I also look at what we are looking at with these overtime shifts. Well, one of the things that I do see is they're not being called what they are, which is a senior officer. So you are making a little bit more money. That's number one. But I'm also looking at, and I'm looking at video when you all are just listening to audio, and I apologize for that. But I looked at something too, that one of these police officers is handling one of the dogs that belongs to the NOPD. He's handling him. I guess that's his handler. My question is, and I'm not trying to make this as I know what's going on, because I don't. I have not talked to any one of these gentlemen. And I want to keep it that way just because I don't want them to get in trouble, because, you know, the minute they find out they're talking to me, they're going to put some other charge on it. But they're not talking to me, so let me make that clear. And the other part of this, I don't know them. But I will ask the question. One of these gentlemen in this video that they have attached to their car, I wonder, did the TV station have permission to video him? Ain't that a violation of his rights? Because you all are saying that this is undercover, and y'all attached it to the vehicle that he's driving to record him, even when he's in his own driveway, which is his property. And he didn't know it, because he sat down in front of that car and started taking photos. So did y'all violate this man's rights? That's number one. Number two, is he's handling one of the dogs? Is handling the dog, taking care of this dog, if the dog is going home with him, is that a special something that he's doing with the dog too, that he could be doing with the dog that you all know about? I'm just saying, well, you know, dog hours don't count, right? But it would seem to me that as I look at his title, and then again, maybe I'm putting too much into the personnel as I look at his title. He's not a regular police officer. He is a senior officer. That means he's had years on the, he's had some years on the force. But is that my real problem? I'm trying to figure out, did he do something wrong? Because in no part of this, I hear allegations, but I didn't see that if you're doing an investigation, what was the conclusion of that investigation that tells the people that this officer did something wrong? What did he do? You all are making the allegations that, oh, yeah, he lives outside of this, he's doing that, and he's doing this, and he's doing that. Okay, but what did he do wrong? And what discrepancies in overtime did he have? Now, the third question I have. I've noticed, and again, I think everybody got some prejudices with them. I do too. But I've noticed that in each one of these investigations that come from this television station is that everyone that has been put on trial here that has had some type of investigation on what they do, how they do it, when they do it, and they're a police officer, if your salary is above a certain amount, then you're a red flag. But if I'm working off the clock, but yet I get called to do some other stuff on the clock, I'm not working for free. If y'all call me or I got to do something else, I'm not working for free. Even if I'm not in the office, I'm not working for free. If I'm on a special unit and I got to get up out of my bed at night and I got to do something for the police station, I'm not working for free. I'm gonna write that down on my timesheet. Or better yet, understand something. I don't care what happens, and this is gonna sound very selfish. Whatever happens, you all need to wait until I come back to do my regular shift. Even if it's an emergency, if I got to get caught up in this, because we're talking about messing up people's lives once somebody makes these type of allegations. If somebody did that to you, that's what I would request. I would request, hey, look, I'm doing my 9 to 5. I'm doing my whatever. I do my 12-hour shift. Please do not contact me for anything else. Oh, I'm turning the phones off. Because you all put me in a bad position before. I'm not going to allow myself to go on that same position ever again. So listen, you all need to make it a point to only call me during office hours. If you're looking for somebody, you do this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you need the dog to call me when it's my shift. So how many times, and I think this is a very good question. How many times during a normal day do these officers have to work off schedule? Not your regular schedule, but off schedule during the time when you're not supposed to work. How many is that? And are you working for free? If you do, I got a bridge I want to sell you. It's called the G&O. Terry.
Hey, Gerard, how you doing?
What's going on, Big Money?
Ain't nothing much. This is a crazy time with all this stuff going on at the same time. If you didn't, I know you noticed it like I did. You got the ICE people coming in, the consent decree, the police are talking about the overtime. And it's just kind of ironic that all of this is going on at the same time, but it's crazy because, when it comes to ICE, that's just, they just been doing it all over the nation, under Trump's direct orders. But I want to talk about the consent decree, Gerard. Somebody has to explain to the citizens of New Orleans what does this mean that they're no longer under consent decree. What can they do now that they couldn't do? I mean, somebody needs to explain that to the public because we're the ones who are going to have to face them.
Well, if they let this go from the consent decree, which they said they're doing, a lot of the policies that we've been incorporating for the last 12 years go away. The no chase policy, does that go away, or do we make sure that that's part of an ordinance with the police department? Because the no chase policy was whether you are in a car and running away from the police, they couldn't chase you unless it was a life or death situation. That's part of the consent decree. You also had to look at the difference in when there were disciplinary actions toward a police officer because of their way of policing and saying that you need to be able to do different types of policing instead of busting people in the head. So all these things went away.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Gerard, but see, what I'm saying is just like one of the previous callers said, I forgot his name. He said something very good because what about the young people? See, a lot of those young guys and these young ladies, they're not going to be aware of it. I know you just spelled it out. I mean, we up in age and we'll keep up with that.
Don't put me in that. Don't put me in that, bro. Take your own lick, bro. Don't put me in that.
But you understand what I'm saying. The young generation is not going to pay attention to what the new rules are or what they're allowed to do now that they couldn't do. I'm telling you, there might be a lot of incidents. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just saying it's not a good thing. I think the public, the young people they need to explain it to the public, especially the young people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's my analogy. It needs to be explained to them because this is 12 years of a consent decree. And some of these young boys, I'm gonna just use young boys. I ain't gonna say what color, no race or nothing like that. I'm just saying 12 years ago, you could have been still a kid.
That's right.
12 years from then, you could be in your early 20s. So you wouldn't know.
And then we got a great governor announcing, oh, now they can get back to, police tactics or whatever he meant by that.
Yep.
And see, that's not good for him as a leader of a state to make statements like that, because you're dealing with, with people, lives and stuff like that.
Well, you got to remember, Landry used to be on the police force.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. I'm just talking about our children mostly. I know it's like you say, they got the Vietnamese children, young people.
Right.
They got the Arab young people, but I don't really think the Caucasian people, I'm not being prejudiced or racial, but I don't think they have to worry about it like our children do, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yep, you are correct, Mundo. All right, Terry.
All right, Gerard.
Appreciate you, boss. All righty. Mr. Bill.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's going
I
on?
heard the police superintendent on a radio show said over the last 12 years, there's been pretty much a complete turnover of personnel, and that the training that they're using now doesn't include all of the skull cracking routines and abductions that they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard within this 12 years, that some recruits have stated that when they get with their trainer on the street, the trainer would say, everything you learned in the academy, forget about it.
Yep.
So
I think what you're going to see with
assume,
NOPD, though, I do think what you're going to see with NOPD, because any police officer can tell you this, that they are deterred from applying with police departments when they are under consent decree. So those that may have wanted to come here when they found out they were under consent decree, they didn't want to apply to be a police officer here. Now that it's gone, maybe they won't have so much of a bad time recruiting.
I see. You speaking about the ICE coming here next week,
mm-hmm.
in all possibility, and you mentioned timing.
Yep.
Timing is everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're in a relationship, if you're in a marching band, if you're a doctor about to go into surgery. Timing, you got to be there at that time. Now, as far as the ICE personnel coming in town, I would love to hear one of those police departments say, okay, you want to send those guys in? Have them come in, and we'll give you a list of names and last known residents, areas of town that this Joe Blow from across the border, who's a felon, hangs around, so go to that area. Instead of just yakking people off the street, mothers taking their kids to day school and all this other foolishness. Or I would like to hear a police department say, we're going to follow the ICE troops. And when we see them doing unjust things to citizens, like jumping out, busting windows on cars and things of that nature, we're going to encounter them and say, hey, what's going on? Who is this person? What information you have on them? Do you have a subpoena, a warrant, or whatever? I've never heard a police department chief in any of these towns say something like that. And I think that would be a deterrent. But then again, you turn around with Donald Trump, just like he talks about some judges from time to time, a rogue judge, he's going to say that's rogue policemen interfering with their ICE operation or something. So I don't know. We got 3 years to step lightly.
Yeah.
At most, hopefully. And
but I don't think we're never going to have a police department that is going to be vocal, saying that you can't do, or we're going to arrest you, or or hey, stop doing that. We don't do that here.
I doubt it. I doubt it as well. But
yeah, we're not going to have that.
It would be nice to hear. I can only hope for something like that, but I don't expect it.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Mr. Bill. All right, we're going to take another break here, our final break before we get out of here and call it a day. Interesting comments. Something to think about, right? More coming up. Everybody hold tight.
AURN News.
A federal court just delivered a seismic blow to President Trump's push to lock in Republican control of Congress by blocking Texas' new congressional map. The ruling, handed down by a 3-judge panel, halts a redistricting plan that would give Republicans an edge in 30 out of 38 districts, all while stripping Black and Latino communities of their voting power. Judge Jeffrey Brown, a Trump appointee, wrote, "Substantial evidence shows that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map." And the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law, adding, "It is a clear violation of the Constitution to design a plan to purposefully dismantle districts where Black and brown voters together are a majority." Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton have already appealed to the Supreme Court, but with candidate deadlines just weeks away, time may not be on their side. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
I've talked about Governor Jeff Landry's boneheaded attempt to wrest control of the city of New Orleans' finances. Now I must talk about Governor Landry's misguided recommendation that the state's flagship university honor the memory of the late ultra-conservative Republican Charlie Kirk. It is a suggestion that has left me bewildered and confused. The governor is suffering from a lagging approval rating of just 39% in the recent polls. This seems to be a desperate power play for attention and is a far reach. Landry says he wants a statue erected of Kirk in honor of his devotion to freedom of speech. An editorial by MSNBC framed the move by Governor Landry this way, quote, "A monument to Kirk, who was assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley University on September 10th, could be seen as a tribute to the importance of free speech on the campus where he was wrongly killed. But the Louisiana governor's push to have a statue installed at a university where Kirk never studied and in a state where he never lived is a blatant play for attention by a politician with a plummeting approval rating. The move also doubles as a textbook illustration of the way obnoxious monuments, such as the ones honoring Confederate leaders, ended up in some places those leaders never set foot in, and in some places where no Civil War battles were ever fought. Arguing that Kirk was a champion of free speech borders on hyperbole to me. Eli Mistel of Nation News put it this way: when he wrote that Charlie Kirk's speech were meant to outrage, not to enrich. Kirk was known to utter words that disparaged blacks, Jews, and Latinos, insinuating that blacks are unqualified and intellectually suspect, that Jews are ruining the country by funding Marxist agendas, and that Latinos are attempting to replace whites. He also suggested that gays should be stoned. Does this sound like a man who should be honored with a statue? I think not. It's true that under the Constitution one has the right to say what one wishes. It's equally true that such speech is inaccurate, cruel, hurtful, and divisive. Such speech from a man who prided himself as a devout Christian gives me great pause. My friend and colleague Jarvis DeBerry summed it up best in a recent column, saying, quote, "Kirk should not have been killed. On that, all Christians ought to agree. But to argue that he should be praised is to suggest that racism and the Christian faith are compatible. And who really wants to be on the record arguing that?" This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule, no excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. A message from the Greater New Orleans East Business Alliance. New Orleans East is primed for economic development and growth. The East has an abundance of commercial space and vacant land available. The opportunity for development is endless. Come be a part of the economic rebuild. For more information, please give us a call at 504-957-3568. That's 504-957-3568. Building a strong New Orleans East makes a stronger New Orleans.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Having a conversation as we get out of here. I hope everybody gets into this conversation. We're going to do it again at some point because I know that we get monitored, and we get monitored by those that don't like what we talk about. But I know we're monitored. But I need y'all to know that there's some stuff coming, and hopefully we'll be able to get our answers to a lot of these questions. I'll tell you more when he gets here. Miss Pam?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. What you got for us?
So my question is that I noticed that the local media has been airing stories about NOPD officers, and they're working all of these hours. And I understand that they can work 56 hours of overtime, and they don't have to take any days off. And according to the superintendent, she said that they're not breaking any policies. So, and obviously the media is lacking institutional knowledge because if they're not breaking any policies, why are we airing stories? And if it was convenient for the officers to work all these hours and now they're being penalized for it, and now they're being scrutinized, what's going on with that?
Well, that's what we've asked. I think, now this is my personal opinion, I think that there's just somebody looking for a story because this is like the second time that there has been a conversation about police officers that are working overtime. And my point has been, and I go back to the first story where they asked the superintendent, did they do anything wrong? She said they have not broken any policies. So why are we doing the story? So this is the second time that Fox 8 has done the story, because the last time they did a story on a young man that, need to get of course he needs to get his life back together because he was in the vehicle smoking. What was that he was smoking? It wasn't crack. It was wasn't heroin. It was some other substance. So I saw that report on Channel 6, and then they came back and did it again on Fox 8. So I'm thinking
couldn't that be re-traumatizing for him, though,
that's
or
what I thought it was.
for him?
I thought it was traumatizing twice. He did the interview with the reporter from Channel 6. They played the video that he had on his video. So here we go and playing the video again and talking about him again. Well, dang, it's been over a year or two. So if he's trying to get his life back together and somebody didn't see the first report and they see the second report, they're calling him now and saying, man, you on that bug, man? I didn't know you was on that, man. That's why you lost your job. Because, some of us can be cruel. So,
right. But to my understanding, I believe when I heard the radio story last week that someone dropped the ball and it wasn't the young man. So I believe it was some type of testing, I believe.
Well,
that was missed or failed.
From what I'm hearing is that from the time that he went from being led by FTO, a field training officer, for those who don't know, that when they let you go from being led by a field training officer, you have to go immediately and take a P-test. They take you and get that test done immediately before they put you in the car. From what I understand, he didn't go, or nobody required him to go. But if he was the only one out of that class, my question was, who was the person that's responsible for it? So you look for the head of the unit that does the P-testing. Ain't that Nick Gannon?
Well, I don't recall that being on the news report that he
It
was
was
the one
not.
that missed.
You are
That's
correct.
interesting.
It was not in the report itself. No. Don't know if it was something that was something they didn't want in the report, or maybe somebody happened to leave that part out. One of the deputy chiefs, by the way.
That's awful.
Yeah. Messing up somebody's life, but, protect your people. Protect your people. All right? So we got more coming up on this one because I think it's important, too, that when you do these stories, look at all the nicks and look at all the nicks and the cookies and everything else that goes with it, because what I'm noticing about this is it seemed to be the black officers that can't make a certain amount of money.
I'm starting to see that as well. It seems to be a popular trend, unfortunately.
Well, we're going to make it unpopular because we put in a public records request for everybody's salary that's got rank.
I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing.
We will give you more information. Thank you, Miss Pam.
Thank you.
All righty. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap things up for me. Appreciate y'all for being a part of the conversation on today. Yeah, we got to do things sometimes because the news can get manipulated very quick. All right, y'all. And Ed Reynard, sorry, we are not on 107.1. They did not put this show on the FM. Y'all can change that. Call them and tell them. Call Justin. Call Troy Henry. Call all of them and let them know they need to put this show on the FM too. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap things up for me. RNAs coming up next, along with Mr. Carey. They are next. Y'all have a great rest of the day.